Hey North Region friends, I am Renee Tomala, our field representative in North Dakota. Our team is really bummed that you're not all making the trek across the prairie to join us in Bismarck this week, but I do hope that this video finds you doing well. I am here to talk to you about some warm and fuzzies today. So our team is small but mighty, and we are centered around making and fostering a connection to Pheasants Forever in North Dakota, both personally and professionally, in an attempt to drive our mission forward in new ways. We're striving to strengthen those connections within our state to give folks a plethora of reasons to support our organization and our efforts with their time, their money, and their land, appealing to wherever their interests may lie and seeing where we can work together in the name of PF, just as all of you do, but I'm going to tell you how NODAC does it. So putting thought and care into stewarding those connections has come back to us in really incredible ways. It's allowed for Rachel to maintain and create new partnerships in the state, for Emily to make an impact in agriculture, for myself to have our chapters as our biggest ally and supporter, and for Kayla to deliver such effective targeted women's outreach where that connection and relationship serves as a foundation for mentorship and for learning, both in the field and out. It's helped us to create dynamic, passionate conservationists. It's garnered vital chapter support of our state initiatives and national programs. It's put acres of habitat on the ground and created advocates for our work. Those strong connections have really left their mark on me, being one of the main reasons that I signed up as a life member of Pheasants Forever this year. It's because of those connections that I was able to welcome and stand alongside 15 new life members from our state meeting this past year. Those are all things that will perpetuate our mission, but most warm and fuzzy of all, it's humbled and inspired our team to keep up the fight. You've probably heard about it, maybe you've seen it, and hopefully you've lived it out, but we're gonna go beyond the bird. Our NODAC team created the hashtag Beyond the Bird for a few reasons, but mainly because we wanted an outlet to be able to tell our story. We use it to go beyond the bird that's on our logos so that we can help to broaden people's knowledge of who we are and what we do. You guys all know it really well. We are the connection between precision ag and conservation. We're milkweed and pollinators, kids getting their hands dirty. We're learn to hunt events, public access makers, those first broken clay pigeon smiles, avid bird dog lovers, a loud voice on Capitol Hill, native prairie restorers, and so much more. We go beyond the bird to shed some light on just how dynamic our organization is and to tell all the ways that we kick butt for conservation. So then on the other hand from that, we've each told our own stories with it in front of crowds, at state meetings, and at women, wine, and wild game events, and even through our PF social media pages and our personal ones. We all have a distinct path that has brought us into the field of conservation and unique perspectives and passions within that. For those that hunt, I imagine that there aren't too many stories the same of how we came to it or even why we stay in it. Whether it's for the sake of following dogs doing what they do best, the lean, sustainable meat that it provides, immersing yourself in nature to recharge your soul, the kind of memories that just aren't made anywhere else, or the adventure as a whole that goes with it all, we aim to put words to those personal meanings to share it with others. We love telling those stories, and our hope is that it inspires our friends and family, our members and volunteers, and our followers to find their niche within conservation, to volunteer and become a member, or to head afield for maybe the first time, or even with a new hunter in tow. You'll find us on all of the hip and happening social media places, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. It's a great place for us to reach our members and, oh yeah, tell our story. Aiming to be as diverse as possible, we've got your Wildflower and Wild Game Wednesdays, your Pheasant Fridays, a glimpse into each of our turkey seasons, and our take on what the habitat, the hunt, and the harvest provides for us. So it seems like a bunch of fluff, right? Well, hear me out. While you might not be able to capture whether or not our post of a cute pheasant chick and quality pollinator habitat was the reason that someone signed up for a membership, there are a few ways that we know we're succeeding with it. We use those platforms to put butts in the seats at our events and to peddle raffle tickets that fund our state efforts. We strengthen our relationships with partners by giving recognition and sharing our successes. We advertise our programs, and ultimately we give a face to the name that you'll see putting in work all across the state. So now let's talk about the tweet machine. Now, I am neither clever or witty enough to be good at twittering, but I'm going to tell you who is. Emily Spoliar, our Southwest Precision Ag and Conservation Specialist. She is using 280 characters or less to connect with landowners and our partners to spread the good word on incorporating habitat into operations and all of the good that comes out of it. Her feed has everything from videos going through scenarios on an operation to give the lowdown on what she can do.
Emily Spoliar with North Dakota Pheasants Forever. I just wanted to jump on here and show you an example of some of the work that I get to do and some of the information that goes into these habitat projects that we plan.
There's her super cute bird dog Bridger helping carrying the groceries. If you haven't seen it, you need to. And also how she can help landowners. The results are in, and she's currently tweeting at a rate of nearly 160 new habitat acres a tweet within the past 6 months. I'll let that soak in. So now don't worry, Emily is still connecting with landowners outside of the millennial way of doing things, but by having this approach in her arsenal, she's also engaging landowners that may have not otherwise been reached. One of the best parts of it all, it's a lot of return for being free 99. Now, I'm not saying we don't have time invested in it or to hit the time clock and scroll Facebook all day, but it's a really good option for you to be able to tell your story and tell your work. In the words of Ryan Heinegger, I'm gonna tie a bow on things. So here's what I'm encouraging you to do. Dig deep and find your YPF, then articulate it. Take a fresh look at how you can tell our story from your work and perspective, and social media or not, tell that story, tell it loud and tell it often. So here's to a whole lot of mission delivery and your story that is absolutely worth telling. Cheers, North Region.